G'day and welcome to another episode of Kiwi Car Life. And if you have large quantities of a particular currency to spend on your next car, chances are you're going to be choosing between something like this, a 2008 Lexus ISF with an old-fashioned, naturally aspirated V8 engine. Or you could look at something like this, a 2011 BMW M5 with an extremely complicated twin-turbocharged V8 engine. And today we're going to be answering the question, do you go with the safe, reliable and old-fashioned engine, or do you go with the modern, complicated, more powerful engine? The styling of the F10 M5 in my mind is one of BMW's finest. The 20-inch wheels, the beautifully simple little bulging side skirts and the aggressive front end with the very deep set grills inside the bumper. Overall, I just think that it is a beautifully proportioned and absolutely stunning looking car. The ISF, on the other hand, is absolutely awful. The Lexus, on the other hand, is much more understated. Sure, it has widened fender flares and a bulge in the bonnet and a more aggressive front fascia, which does make it look quite a bit better than the average IS 250 or 350 that you see on the roads. But compared with the M5, you can just see it here looking at the two of them side by side. This is just a far more menacing looking car. Reliability was this car's number one feature. No, it's absolutely awful. In fact, it's one of BMW's most unreliable cars ever made. The engine in question, an S63 B44 non-TU, because of course this is one of the very first iterations of the F10 M5. But it doesn't matter because it makes 550 horsepower or 412 kilowatt and 680 Newton meters. You compare that to my ISF, I mean, this is basically just a Toyota Camry for all I know. It's got a 2UR GSE, it makes 311 kilowatts, or 100 less than this, and 505 Newton meters, so nearly 200 less than this. It's going through an old-fashioned 8-speed automatic, and it's going to the rear wheels with no LSD through only 255 wide tyres. The interior of the M5, you can just tell, is a lot more modern than something like the Lexus ISF. It's got really cool looking gauges with a screen that lights up down the bottom and sort of fills in the bottom half of it with a whole lot of really useful information. The steering wheel feels really nice. The iDrive is excellent, as I found with my Z4 that I had. It's extremely easy to use. Down here you've got buttons for your traction control, you can adjust the weight of the steering, you can adjust the sort of engine responsiveness and so on. You can even adjust how quickly the transmission shifts. The seats are amazingly comfortable. They hold you in extremely well and have a phenomenal amount of adjustment. It's very easy to find a great driving position in here. The Lexus interior is definitely a lot more dated and a lot more simple. Because mine is a Japanese import, most of the infotainment system, if you can even call it that, it's pretty much like using a Windows XP computer at this point, is basically useless. The steering wheel feels very nice, has a cool little F logo down the bottom here. The pedals feel excellent and work perfectly. The gauges look excellent, very easy to read and show all of the information that you need. It's got auto lights, auto wipers, keyless entry, fully electric, leather heated seats and multiple more features. While it is old and while most of the features in my one are in Japanese, so you can't really use them, at least the features that it does have are very easy to use and well laid and well thought out, and they feel very high quality. Driving the F10 M5. When I go to put my foot down, I no doubt am going to be absolutely petrified, but just pootling around with everything in the comfort, boring, normal setting, this is a lovely car and is much nicer than my ISF. But if I put it over now into manual mode, put it in the most aggressive setting, and oh gee, I don't know if I'm ready for this, but let's see what this car does. Okay, that's, oh my giddy aunt. At least my Lexus, you could actually use the power. This, like flooring it, what's the point? Oh my goodness. The power of this car is instant. This car is just death. Okay, third gear. Let's try third. See if it's any easier. Oh my! Oh, this thing is just this thing is too fast, man. Oh, that is just no. This is beyond belief fast, to the point of unusableness, where you will kill yourself in this thing. I've got to admit, man, the transmission is amazing. Steering feel is really good. It's incredibly easy to drive when you're just cruising around. Oh, see, look at that, mate. Oh, that was like a quarter throttle. And I didn't see it coming. In my Lexus, I just know what it's going to do. Whereas this, I thought it was fine. And then it just, like, where did that even come from? You know, you just, if you're turning at all, see, look at that. No, just, whoa, my giddy aunt. I'm sorry, but this car is completely and utterly unusable in every single way. I apologize to the owner, I apologize to people who have these, but this is not my kind of car at all. That F10 M5 has broken me. I don't know how to sum this video up without coming across as incredibly biased towards my own car. In every objective manner, that F10 M5 is better than my ISF. In my mind, it looks better, it's got way more features on the inside, it rides so much better, has more comfortable seats, it's got way more space in the back and in the boot. It makes substantially more power and torque because it's obviously got two turbos bolted to the V8. It has a much better and more refined transmission. Really, the only area where I can see the ISF being better is that it is obviously more reliable. Yet, 100 times out of 100, if you gave me a choice between the F10 M5 and this ISF, I would choose this every single time. And in my mind, it comes down to this. New Zealand roads are just not built for cars with that much power. This ISF, I know I can turn it into this roundabout and be a bit of a yob behind the wheel, and it might hang the back end out, but it's just not gonna kill me, you know? And then I can put my foot down and enjoy a very lengthy period of foot flat time, but dab of brakes back onto the motorway. I've had my fun, I'm not scared, and above all else, I'm smiling. The induction noise is fantastic. The transmission at full chat just hammers through the gears. I felt the same way driving that F10 M5 as I did in the C63. I just felt like from sort of 0 to 70 in first and second gear, you were just terrified and just trying to stop it from killing you. And then after that, you're just so quickly approaching jail territory, it's not funny. Whereas in this, I can go foot to the floor. It's not gonna go too quickly, but it still makes a fantastic noise. And while the transmission's a bit lurchy, doesn't always rev match so well, you know, you can enjoy the power, the noise, and the performance without going too fast, without worrying about flipping the back end, just stepping out or anything like that. And on a twisting road like this, I'm sure the M5 would be great. I didn't really get a chance to take it on any sort of winding road like this, but I don't know, I just feel like this car is just a lot more at home on the kind of unpredictable, undulating, frankly, kind of average New Zealand roads, whereas the F10 M5, it needs a straight, smooth autobahn to really see that car shine through. If you're looking at it purely from the on-paper statistics and features, the M5 is just a better car in every single way, and for the amount of power that it has, they're starting to become a bargain. But the ISF is still the car that I would choose from the bunch, because while it's flawed in many ways, it doesn't have a particularly amazing transmission, it doesn't make the most amount of power for a 5 litre, and it certainly doesn't have very many features now because it's getting quite old. It's a car that you can get in and get out day in, day out, and not be scared by it, but still have a hang of a lot of fun. So there we go. If you want to see the review that I did of my friend Jack's previous car, a BMW 535, then click over here. And if you want to see the first video that I did with my Lexus ISF, then click over here. And I'll look forward to seeing you again next time.